Everyone in the small town of Nagar called Dr. Arvind a fool when he sold his only piece of land to save a boy who wasn't even his son. The neighbors whispered that he had thrown away his future for a stranger's child. They called him the penny doctor because he never charged more than 10 rupees for a checkup. But 30 years later, as a massive corporate hospital prepares to bulldoze Dr. Arvind's tiny clinic, a man steps out of a government convoy. He isn't here with a suitcase of cash to buy the land. He is here to prove that some lives are worth more than the buildings they occupy. This isn't just a story about medicine. It's a story about the debt of a heartbeat. The story goes back to a humid monsoon night in 1995. Dr. Arvind was young then, but his hands were already tired from serving the poor. At midnight, a man burst into his clinic, carrying a 7-year-old boy in his arms. The boy, Rahul, had been bitten by a king cobra while sleeping in his hut. His skin was turning blue, and his breath was becoming a rattle. The nearest city hospital was 3 hours away, and they wouldn't even open their doors without a massive deposit. Rahul's father was a daily wage laborer. He had nothing but the clothes on his back and a heart full of grief. He fell at Dr. Arvind's feet, begging for a miracle. Dr. Arvind knew the boy needed a rare antivenom that was only available at a private pharmacy in the next town. It cost more money than Arvind had in his desk. That money was meant for his own sister's wedding, which was just a week away. Arvind looked at the clock, then at the dying child. He didn't hesitate. He took his bicycle and rode through the pouring rain to the pharmacy. He didn't just spend the money. He signed over the deed to his only ancestral plot of land to the pharmacist as a guarantee for more medicine. He returned soaked to the bone and spent the next 48 hours sitting by the boy's bed, monitoring every breath. When Rahul finally opened his eyes, Dr. Arvind didn't ask for a fee. He simply asked the father to make sure the boy went to school.
30 years passed like a slow-moving river. Nagar was no longer a village. It was becoming a concrete city. High-rise buildings and luxury malls were rising everywhere. A giant medical conglomerate, Megacare Corp, had bought all the surrounding land. They wanted to build a medical tourism center for the ultra-rich. The only thing standing in their way was Dr. Arvind's tiny single-story clinic. Arvind was now 65. His hair was white and his clinic was old, but the line of poor patients at his door never shortened. He still charged only 10 rupees. He was the only doctor the poor could afford. Megacare Corp was ruthless. They used their political connections to cancel Dr. Arvind's medical license, claiming his clinic was unhygienic and outdated. They cut his electricity and water. Finally, they sent a legal team with an eviction notice. Arvind stood at his door, clutching his old stethoscope. He told the lawyers that he wouldn't leave. He said that if he closed his doors, the people in the queue outside would have nowhere to go but the graveyard. The lead lawyer laughed, telling Arvind that sentiment doesn't win against science and progress. He gave the old doctor exactly 12 hours to pack his bags before the bulldozers arrived. The next morning, the sun rose over a tense scene. A massive yellow bulldozer stood in front of the clinic, its engine roaring like a beast. A crowd of villagers gathered, crying and pleading, but the police pushed them back. Arvind sat on a plastic chair in front of his clinic, his eyes closed, holding an old photograph of the day he graduated medical school. The site manager shouted through a megaphone, ordering the operator to start the demolition. The crowd screamed. The bulldozer moved forward, its giant claw rising into the air, ready to crush the roof.
Suddenly, a fleet of white SUVs with red sirens screeched into the square. The police immediately stood at attention. A man in a sharp, formal suit stepped out. This wasn't a businessman. This was Dr. Rahul, the National Health Commissioner.
The site manager ran over, thinking the government was there to help him. He began complaining about the stubborn old man blocking the way. But Dr. Rahul didn't even look at the manager. He walked straight to the plastic chair, in front of the entire town, in front of the cameras and the corporate lawyers. The most powerful medical official in the country did something no one expected. He bent down and touched Dr. Arvind's feet. The silence that followed was deafening. Dr. Rahul turned to the site manager and the corporate lawyers. He didn't offer to buy the land. Instead, he pulled out a government decree. "This clinic is no longer just a clinic," Rahul announced, his voice echoing through the megaphone. "As of this morning, the Ministry of Health has designated this site as a National Heritage Medical Center. Not only will it not be demolished, but the surrounding land, owned by Megacare Corp., is being reclaimed by the state to build a free government hospital, and it will be named the Arvind Life Foundation." The lawyers tried to protest, but Rahul cut them off. 30 years ago, a doctor sold his land to save a boy's life. Today, that boy has come back to return the land to the people. Your license to build here is officially revoked. The world told Dr. Arvind that he was a fool for giving up his wealth for a stranger. They told him that progress is measured in glass buildings and expensive machines, but Arvind knew a truth that the world often forgets. Medicine isn't just about healing bodies, it's about healing souls. He didn't invest in real estate, he invested in a human being, and that investment paid off in a way that no bank account ever could. Rahul didn't save the clinic because he was rich. He saved it because he remembered the weight of a debt that can never be paid in cash. Remember, the seeds of kindness you sow today might take decades to grow, but when they do, they will provide a shade that no storm can ever tear down. If this story reminded you that true heroes don't always wear capes, sometimes they wear white coats, type respect in the comments and share this video to honor the doctors who serve from the heart.